Episode 6 of The Perfect Couple begins with Greer being surprised as she runs into Amelia and Benji being cordial in the kitchen, but her mind is still on the toxicology report as she asks Amelia if Merritt had any addictions. Amelia strongly refused before the cops show up and take Greer to the station. Meanwhile, Thomas is busy hooking up with Isabel when Abby tells him about Greer being taken away. However, she is furious when she figures that he had not gone out for a run but was actually with Isabel. At the same time, Enid and the publishing staff arrive and try to fix Tag's fiasco as he feels bad for ruining the book launch. They try to come up with an apology speech for him and also insist that he go to rehab to deal with his substance abuse. At the police station, the cops are at their wits' end as Greer stays quiet despite bringing in Broderick. As they keep hounding her, she finally reveals that Broderick is her brother and she has been covering all of his gambling debts. During his latest stint, she didn't have the money, so she asked Shooter for a loan. Stumped, the cops let Greer and Broderick go. Tired of all the lies, Greer arrives home and tells Enid and her sons everything, that Broderick was a pimp and she was an escort. That's how she and Tag met. He was her client. She has been cleaning up his mess all these years and decides to stop for good. This time, she is going to focus on herself and use her real story for her next book, which has Enid impressed. Amelia is busy discussing the murder with her parents as she shares that Merritt had the sedative barbiturates in her system. Her mother, Karen, is shocked as she goes for a secret stash and realizes that one of the pills is missing. Karen ends up confessing to the cops that she had actually carried 3 pills with her in case her condition deteriorated quickly. While one pill is not enough to kill someone, if Merritt had taken it when she entered the water, she could have drowned. Benji and Amelia recall Thomas's prescription roulette, where he steals pills from all over the house and takes one just for the fun of it. Thomas is then taken to the station, where he claims that he thought the pill was oxy and had kept it for himself. He draws his own conclusions and sends the cops after Isabel. He explains that he owed Isabel $2.5 million, which he would be able to pay back after Will turned 18 next month. According to their trust guidelines, the Wimberys will get their money once the youngest son turns 18, and the money will be split 3 ways among the boys. With Merritt's kid in the picture, the money would be split 4 ways and they would have to wait for 18 years. So, Isabel must have spiked Merritt's drink by the beach. We also get a flashback here to the night of the murder. A drunk Thomas decided to threaten Merritt to get an abortion when he spots her drinking with Isabel. However, his aim is off as he directly points the gun at her head. Isabel stops him and takes him away to her hotel. Back in the present, when the cops question Isabel, she points out that she is extremely rich and loaned the money knowing Thomas would not be able to pay it back. She doesn't need the money or Tag, so she doesn't have the right motive. It's actually Detective Henry who realises that there is another suspect in play, Abby, who had claimed Thomas had come to bed late on the night of the murder. That is simply not possible as Thomas was at the hotel during that time with Isabel, which is confirmed by the dashcam footage of the taxi they took. So now we get confirmation that Abby killed Merritt, but how and why? Well, Henry recalls that when she first questioned Abby after the body was found, she was nervous and washing a glass. That must have been the one that she used to drug Merritt. And during the interrogation at the station, Abby had gone on and on about an exclusive tallow-infused lotion that she uses. Along with the pills in Merritt's bloodstream, tallow was found on her hair. Henry deduces that Abby must have held Merritt's head while she drowned her, and with her lying about Thomas's whereabouts too, it's enough to arrest Abby. A flashback to the night of the murder reveals Abby's motivations as well. Along with Greer, Abby realises that Merritt is pregnant when she refuses to drink. Later that night, while she does her skincare routine on the balcony, she watches Thomas trying to shoot at Merritt and Isabel taking him away. Frustrated, she grabs a pill from Thomas's stash, mixes it with orange juice and gives it to Merritt, who is grateful for her company. Abby lulls her into a false sense of security by talking about cheating husbands. She also adds that they should never trust the man to do anything. This suggests that it was Abby's idea to have Thomas threaten Merritt, but with him ruining the plan, she takes matters into her own hands. As a nightcap, she suggests going for a swim and Merritt agrees. As she feels dizzy, Abby holds her down in the water and drowns her. As for Abby's motive, it is what Thomas had suspected of Isabel. From the beginning of the show, Abby has been money-minded, bickering with Thomas about the money, wanting a bigger apartment, flexing her wealth in front of Henry, and stealing expensive wedding gifts. She must have wanted Merritt's child out of the picture so that she could get her hands on the trust fund money without any further delay. Amelia calls Shooter and apologises for being confused and toying with him and Benji. She reveals that she does remember Shooter from the train and hopes to find the old her. She wishes him farewell and hangs up. As for Benji, he apologises to Amelia and believes everything is his fault. He claims that he knew she was unsure about him and that her mother was severely ill, yet he proposed to her. He wishes her well and they part ways amicably. Thomas continues to lie about his affair with Isabel, but Abby knows about it. Her breaking point seems to be when he claims to go running but is actually hooking up with Isabel when Greer is taken by the cops. She calls him out for being selfish, but it all seems to be an act as she then plays a dutiful wife when the cops suspect Thomas of killing Merritt. When she is arrested as a murderer, she screams at Thomas to help her. However, he is being chased around by an angry Isabel for putting the cops on her tail. As for Tag, he realises that his marriage is over, and thus he doesn't need to go to rehab or stop his drinking. He and Greer seem to take a break from each other as she tells him to stay in Nantucket while she works on her book in NYC. At the end of the episode, Greer visits Amelia at the zoo where she works. Greer reveals that her new book is on Amelia and she won't publish it until she gets her blessing. Amelia wonders over her change of heart and Greer accepts that she initially didn't like her because she was jealous. While the two have a middle class background, Greer pretended to be someone she was not to fit in, while Amelia refused to change who she was for the sake of the Wimberys. She hopes Amelia will like her book and offers to have a meal with her, which is where everything comes to an end. And with the end of episode 6, this Netflix whodunit comes to a close as well. It finally ties up all the loose ends such as Karen's pills, Abby's money-hungry nature and Broderick's secret. It also solidifies the exciting nature of murder mysteries when they make use of the butterfly effect as evident with Karen's pills. Had Thomas not stolen it and Abby not coincidentally picked it to drug Merritt, the cops wouldn't have Karen's confession to trace it all back to Abby. Also, to be honest, the show almost had us in the first half with that bland characterization of Abby. However, it seems that Dakota Fanning is finally getting her time to shine after her unfortunate career choices as an adult. The reveal and the back and forth to Abby's initial introduction as a snobbish rich girl who puts too much importance on money not only makes it exciting for viewers to connect the dots, but also explains her motive as the killer no one would have suspected. While not perfect, The Perfect Couple has actually been a pretty decent watch overall, and the ending wraps everything up with a neat little bow. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.